Hey, Batman here. Um, my dog's joining me. My lady is behind. She's in front of me, but behind you, so that's fun. And that's my Pyrenees right over there. My lovely plaid bed. Anyhow, so today I was actually I'm trying to figure out what else to talk about. There's like a million things I want to talk about, and then when I get to doing a video of the day, I'm just like, what do I want to talk about? I don't know. So one thing I would love is if you're watching this video and you're like, hey, I want your opinion on something. And it can be kind of like what you would ask a friend. I would hope that you would consider me, if not a friend, someone yet you kind of hear your opinions. Sometimes I can do silly stuff like, why are Trojan condoms called Trojan condoms? That's just a horrible idea. So I'm going to try and do more fun things like that. But today I actually kind of wanted to talk about one element of a really awesome, slightly frustrating conversation I had with a wonderful gentleman the other day, which was this concept of what's going on in Russia. And in all fairness, we ended up talking a lot about Native Americans, also known as Indians or American originals, whatever. And I don't want to talk about that today because I actually wanted to find out more information because I feel like I know a good amount, but I also know it's a very sensitive subject. So I wanted to be honest with my feelings, but I also wanted to know more. So I'm not going to talk about that today. What I did want to talk about, which is also something I would love to know more, and frankly, I feel like that's just a theme in general. I, Plaid Man, need to know more about more of the things, and that's fine. But frankly, this is just kind of an opinion and being silly and a bit, serious at times. What I wanted to talk about was this interesting phenomenon I've been running into mentally on Russia invading Ukraine. And I understand it's a very contemporary thing, and the simplicity behind it is, if we were to look at the nuts and bolts of it, is a country is a house, okay? A country is a house. And currently, we as Americans are living in a house, not even in the same neighborhood, arguably not even in the same zip code. We're like a couple cities away. It'd take us a while to get over there to that house. And the only reason we know that there is another house that is being attacked is because it's everyone's talking about it at the grocery store and whatever. But like, I don't know any of the people really at this other house at all, or the people that are attacking and breaking into the house. I don't know anybody. Okay. So getting out of that analogy, what I think is very interesting is that we have the mainstream media and everybody is like, Russia is bad, Ukraine is good, support Ukraine, and that's all there is to the story. It's a very one-dimensional perspective. Now, I'm not of the mind that Russia is good. I'm also not of the mind that Ukraine is innocent of anything. Like, I was raised with this concept that it takes two people to have a conflict. Two people. That does not absolve either person, and that does not say that, hey, one person isn't the instigator. Those things can be true. You can have two things happening. So, for instance, Russia could be just ultimately the bad guy, and yes, Ukraine did some bad things, but it is not acceptable and is not okay for Russia to attack. That is a possibility. Could also be a possibility that Russia has a right to attack Ukraine, and Ukraine has done some really bad stuff, and other people have helped Ukraine do some really bad stuff, and perhaps it's not known about. So realistically, Russia is in the right to do that. I don't personally think that's the case, but arguably that is the possibility. That is possibly true. And part of the reason why I think it's possible, even though I don't fully agree with it, is this weird idea that people that I don't believe in at all, like if they say something, I almost immediately assume what they said is a lie. Almost immediately. Like Hillary Clinton is one. Like if she says something, I automatically assume she's either saying it for some twisted reason or it's just a blatant outright lie. Sorry. She's had a ridiculous history of lying and communicating to people in a way that it's like, oh yeah, no, I love hot sauce. Blah, blah, blah. And it's like, I don't really care if she does or doesn't like hot sauce, or if she does or doesn't have hot sauce in her purse. But the fact that then she turns around and literally says, oh yeah, no, I'm saying that to appease to you, the black people that are on this podcast. And I'm just like, that's so cringeworthy. And if she's willing to lie about something as stupid as whether or not she likes hot sauce, it makes me think that, well, if you don't have a problem lying about that, like, because you don't need to lie about that. You just be like, you know what? I don't really do hot sauce. Then it opens up the door for all this other stuff. I don't know. I know that's a weird thing, but it's just kind of like, if you don't need to steal something and then you still steal, you're a thief. Like, you have kleptomania problems and whatever. And I digress totally. So the point is if Hillary Clinton's saying, oh, we should like support Ukraine, that is kind of suspect a little bit. Then also go into like Joe Biden, when he was vice president, did a quid pro quo with the Ukrainian government at the time, saying, hey, if you don't fire this person who's investigating the company that my son works at, then you're not going to get the $500 million or whatever it was in loans. And it's like, well, that's a quid pro quo. That's bribery or other things. And he openly admitted to doing that. So that's weird. Plus, Ukraine just has a bad history of corruption in general, in the government, in their other industries. And don't get me wrong, America has lots of corruption as well. Now, that does not mean that Ukraine deserves to be invaded. Not what I'm saying at all whatsoever. But I will illustrate that if you have someone like Hillary Clinton and, God, I'm trying to remember. There's that dude who looks like Emperor Palpatine. Oh, what's his darn name? Babe, do you know this guy I'm talking about? No? She doesn't. This is not her Bollywood. Anyways, there's another guy who's just been constantly funneling money into certain parties, and it's just really a bad egg, and has been kicked out of a bunch of countries throughout the world. And he's super wealthy, and I can't remember his name right now, but he literally looks like Emperor Palpatine mid-transition from being like the evil senator or the sketch senator to like the evil emperor. That's what he looks like. Anyways, then you got that guy who's like, oh my God, we need to stand with the Ukrainians. Like, oh, poor them, blah, blah, blah. So you have two people who are arguably very evil, and they're both saying, oh, Russians bad, Ukrainians good. And I am inclined to say, yeah, Russian invasion bad. But when you get people that are evil and they're saying, oh, hey, blah, 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 I'm inclined to say they're wrong. All this basically means, and this, I can't really stress this enough, is that it is imperative that you as an individual look and do your own research and find out what is true or as close to truth as you can come, based on facts, based on the actual data, not based on opinion. So when you get people who are just talking on the news, right, listen to what they are saying and how they are saying it. Because oftentimes they will talk in a way where it is their opinion, but they will phrase it and couch it in just a way that it almost sounds like they're saying a fact. But actually, it's just their opinion. And that is problematic when you get mainstream news sources, and I'm talking across the boards, everything from MSNBC, CNN, Fox, everyone, the British public, BBC, and then you have just all these other people. They have this tendency to talk about their opinions as if it is like that's the facts. And then furthermore, you have lots of things that are happening right now where they're like, oh, Russia is bringing in this big thing to incinerate a bunch of bodies. And it's like, dude, that's a picture from like 2013. And like, oh, look at this woman, she's bleeding, blah, 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 this and that. And it's like, that is a picture that's from like 8 years ago. Like, what are you guys doing? Or like, oh, look at this freedom fighter who's a chick and she's holding a BB gun. Or look at these two Ukrainian guys that are looking to, fight against the Russians, and they're holding like cut out guns, like literally like paper cardboard looking guns. What's amazing is they look so good. But my point in all that is just simply, it's imperative for you as an individual to pay attention to what's going on in the world. Okay? Like, you should know. If you're talking to someone, it should be in your conversation or something that you think about. You should know. If somebody mentions Russia and Ukraine, you should have some information about it. A. B. You should look and evaluate where you're getting the information, okay? If somebody says, oh, I heard this and this and this, right, including myself, like, go and look and ask them if you don't know. Like, hey, where are you getting that data from? Like, where's that from? And you don't have to be as rude as I just was, but like, it's beneficial to you to inquire and find out. And I feel like you as a person, and I know me as a person, I'm finding it's a lot more, I get a lot more growth when I listen to something and I'm listening to other people talk about it. And not only I'm like, okay, that makes sense, but hold on, maybe that makes too much sense. Maybe I want that to make sense. Maybe I should actually do a little bit of digging in this and be like, okay, does this actually make sense because I want it to be, because it fits within the narrative that I like, or it makes sense because, yeah, no, that actually seems believable. So really, I don't know how to stress this enough, but do your own research, figure it out for yourself. Don't trust anyone at all. Don't trust anyone at all until you've gotten as much data as available and you can make your own evaluation. So that meant to be a little bit lighter than it was, and I'm sorry about that. I'll do something super fun. You know what I'll do? Tomorrow, I'm going to see Batman. I'm super stoked. Going with my lady. We're doing an early, early burp, apparently. No, we're doing an early a date, movie date. So that's going to be awesome. And I'm going to do an awesome review about that. And I think I'm going to kind of make it a little bit more fun. And maybe every other video do like a review about something, or just to kind of make it more lively. Because I don't want it to just be like, oh, politics and anger and all this stuff. But I do also want to talk about those things because it is important. And one thing, it was kind of bugging me in the back of my mind, is how all this stuff is happening in Ukraine. And it seems to me, and Russia attacking, it seems to me again and again and again, oh, we're only going to look at Russia and we're only going to say Russia's the bad guy. And I don't think that Russia is the good guy. But I do want people, myself included, to be like, wait a sec. Why does Russia think they can do this? Why? Look at it. Who is to gain from Russia? What does Russia have to gain by doing this? Start asking yourself. That's a good start on any question. Who gains? Where's the money going? What's the value and the importance of it? I'll just give you a hint. It has something to do with a pipeline. Okay? It has something to do with a pipeline. So you can do your own research, figure out for yourself, and do some guesses. And hey, if you have a guess, leave it in the comment, because I would love to hear it, okay? And if you have, hey, David, I want you to talk about my favorite movie, and if I haven't watched it, I'll watch it. Or, hey, dude, what do you think, well, I don't know, what do you think about this, that, or that? Whatever. Like, by all means, talk to me. I'm going to put in my notes, I just remembered, I'm going to put in my notes to talk about bathrooms, because I have a very interesting observation and a story to share about bathrooms. So, I'm trying, and I appreciate this, and I appreciate you all. Again, like, comment, share, subscribe, all those wonderful things. Plaid Man out. Happy Thursday. Talk to you tomorrow. Bye.